Okay, I want to have a conversation with you about some things that need to get fixed at Georgia. And we know whenever something's wrong, it's Mike Bobo's fault. Like the offense struggles, acid rain, traffic, it's Mike Bobo. But I think we need to have a conversation about Glenn Schumann, who I know was everybody's next fast-track head coach. I saw this at 24/7 Sports. They wrote about sort of the philosophy change and how it's impacted Georgia in the last several years. Glenn Schumann's unit dropped from number 5 in scoring defense in 2022, the first year he took over, to 2023, where they were 23 overall. That ended 3 consecutive top 10 years of defense for Georgia. Well, now Georgia's fallen to number 43 in scoring defense this season, giving up 65 points in their first couple of SEC games. That puts them on track for their worst defensive finish since 2013, well before the Kirby Smart era. But here are the other numbers. Georgia ranks number 128 in pressure rate at 2.04% in all of college football. Georgia's at 128. Akron's at number 129. Liberty's ahead of Georgia when it comes to pressure rate. Georgia only got 8 pressures and 1 sack against Bama, which is notable because Alabama gave up 16 pressures to Wisconsin a couple of weeks before. All these numbers add up to a lot of concerns on the defensive side that need to be talked about more.
If it's true, if you want something that may really frost Georgia fans, there's conversation around that you can have with people, Matthew, if you choose, that this is a result of Buster Faulkner, that what he did against them last year, he kind of figured out that scheme, how to attack them, and that if you look at who's played Georgia since then, they've kind of done a lot of things on offense, similar to what Georgia Tech tried to do that night, and the script kind of got around. So Buster Faulkner is getting a lot of credit in some circles right now for the work he did last November.
CBS's College Football Insiders consulted some sources to get some opinions on Georgia's defensive struggles. They revealed a few intriguing insights about the coaching staff. Here's a quote. Going from a very aggressive coordinator in Dan Lanning to Glenn Schumann has changed the DNA of the unit. The 2022 team was still very good, but it's atrophied from there. Georgia ranked number 8 nationally in sacks in 2021. That was Lanning's last season. Fell to number 40 nationally in sacks in Schumann's first season. Sit at number 125 in America heading into week 6 of the 2025 season.
That's so surprising because I don't think that you have a secondary you have to cover up. You don't have a not talented secondary.
So Georgia's D-line is combined for just 12 pressures through the entire season. To give you a little idea, the 2021 team averaged 13 a game. You're not going to have Jalen Carter or you're not going to have Jordan Davis every year. That's fair. But you also have a bunch of 4- and 5-star pieces here. You don't have the same depth you once had for obvious reasons, but you still have all these players. Glenn Schumann's got to answer to some of this, I guess, is the point on how this defense has fallen to these depths. That the Tennessee game and the Alabama game were just disasters defensively for the first half against Bama, for most of the 4 quarters against Tennessee. And the same thing's been true not only in these 2 games, but happened last year. Kind of digging holes, giving up early big plays, and having to play from behind.
I want to say it was it McKell, Jalen Walker, and Bear Alexander. Their freshman year, they had a pass rush series against Georgia Tech where they kind of went to their NASCAR, and I looked out there, and it was 3 freshmen. I was like, holy smokes, what's ahead? Well, it's just a few years down the road, and Georgia has no pass rush.
They don't.
And I don't know how that. Now, Bear Alexander, he's still playing college football. You know that,
Where
right?
is he?
He's at Oregon.
Did he? Okay. Last I saw was this beautiful, penthouse apartment in Southern California. I lost track since.
But it was 3 freshmen. I was like, it's like a 3rd and 11, and they're sending 3 18-year-olds. I was like, Kirby is so loaded and so stacked. And then it's totally different now, 3 seasons later.
Let's keep in mind, they had the number 1 pick in the draft that goes to Jacksonville. He wasn't a big sack guy in college. They had Jalen Walker. They had Mykel Williams. They've had really high caliber NFL draft picks that have not put up big numbers in college, and it was always under the heading of they throw waves at you. Throw waves at you, and quarterbacks get rid of the football. The pressures aren't there either, which is
they hit on some of them. Remember, Jermaine Johnson transfers out, spends 1 season in Tallahassee, becomes a first-round draft pick. Marvin Jones Jr., he's still in college football. He's playing at Oklahoma.
28 years old.
And so he's still kind of looking to find his niche. So they didn't hit on all of them, but they hit on a lot of them.